kind of coward man-child are you to really not be able to look in the mirror, take some accountability? Instead, you sit there and point the blame at everyone else when you caused every single problem. Welcome again to the reality train wreck that is 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. Insanity ensues as it always does. Will Brian actually be able to look in the mirror and take some accountability, or will he blame Ingrid? Will Niles magically come up with money for a wedding? Will Vana get off the dating apps and finally get some sense? Will Joe agree to propose when Magda has made it clear she's just trying to get to the US? And will Lauren finally admit that he just wants to be in the Philippines? But first, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. You want to support the channel? Drop a super thanks. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's just insanity what we have here, and we are going to start with Brian and Ingrid because, God, that's always fun, and he just cannot take accountability to save his life.
Eu tenho medo de perder o meu tempo e ser só mais uma na lista.
Yes, and that is exactly what you were going to be. Just another Brazilian on Brian's list. But quite frankly, it doesn't really matter. He just said he likes Brazil, but in reality, he has 4 past wives, 3 past fiancés, and he has admitted that he is looking for a caretaker, someone to really take care of him now that he is 51 years old in a wheelchair and is going to have some sort of home health aid for the rest of his life, especially once it gets harder and harder to do things. He has been explicit about this, and yet will not just be honest with himself and stop trying to blame her every time that something happens that he doesn't like, or every time she gets upset because he lied about something else. So he is a child in a 51-year-old's body.
And
yes,
as far as I'm concerned, we have space. She's not even staying in the same apartment as me.
And
so really, I'm confused with that. I don't know what space means anymore.
Why are you confused? This is what he does. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. The reason she did that is because of the weirdness you gave that first night when you're like, oh, well, no sex. All right, I'll just go down on you. All the weird vibes you put out, and yet you don't want to admit that you had anything to do with any of that. Instead, you're talking about, I don't know why we need more space. Clearly, she did not want to be around you. This is the sad part is, before that we ever really got into this, I was really skeptical about her motives. And maybe in the beginning she really did have these negative motives. But the fact is he has really come out as the bad person in this, the bad guy, the one that cannot actually adjust really to have a real relationship. Instead, it's got to be, what are you doing to me? Always wanting to be the victim, always wanting to say what someone else is doing, when in reality, he has so many things he's done wrong in his life, but he can't take accountability for even the things in the past that put him where he is now. It's insane.
After going through so much pain and heartbreak in my life, I put a lot on this trip.
Oh, did you?
I came thinking that Ingrid was the one, that this would be it.
But now you don't know because you put so much on the line. You've been through so much pain and heartache in your life. Whose fault is 90% of that pain and heartache? Answer me that question, Brian. Someone needs to ask him point blank every time. One of the producers, see, the producers will cut in. They've done this to Niles before. It's been no problem. Cut in and say, wait, Brian, whose fault is 90% of the pain and stuff you've been through? The addiction, the getting shot, the getting paralyzed, the 4 marriages and 3 fiancés. Whose fault is that, Brian? Do you take any accountability? And give him a chance to answer. Put him on the spot. See if he still tries to skirt the question and still tries to make it seem like it's not him. Put it directly to him. None of this dancing around, none of this letting him say whatever he wants in the confession booth. Put it right to him. But they won't do it. They won't do it because that would actually attempt to hold some accountability. But I don't know if they're capable of that. I really don't.
Being strung along, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, have a talk with her.
Oh.
Yeah. It's time, it's time. Put her to the wall.
Put who to the wall? Put her to the wall? You were actually reasonable the first time he said this, and you said, hey, when he was talking about the whole, it was really weird, she didn't want me to go down on her, which was bizarre that he couldn't understand that. Why would no one want that? But his sister actually said, well, that's kind of a personal thing, and gave a reasonable response. This time, she's saying, well, time to put her to the wall. You got to ask her. He literally just got done saying, I told her about my 4 marriages and 3 fiancés. He told his sister that he said that. And instead of saying, hey, Brian, listen, every time I talk to you, it seems like you've revealed something that she didn't know. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe you need to come clean with everything instead of acting like, Oh, didn't I tell you that? No, instead she's like, put her to the wall. This is the problem, because clearly his family is not holding him accountable. You don't have to burn a bridge with your sibling to say, hey, this might not be a good idea, or you're not doing something right. Don't have to. That's you being a good sibling. Instead, here it is maybe it's their fault. Ridiculous.
Need to confront Ingrid about her feelings towards me and find out if this relationship with me is real.
Why would it, at what point do you have any reason to believe the relationship is not real for her? Everything that has come up has been on your end. The only thing you could claim that might have been something that could have bothered you, or maybe something on her end, is when her mother wasn't accommodating at all, wasn't welcoming, wasn't trying to really consider anything. But quite frankly, now seeing everything in hindsight and ever seeing how you acted and everything like that, I don't blame her. If Ingrid's like, he told me this, and he didn't tell me this before, and he was lying about this, the mom would be standoffish. Don't you think? So you really don't have any reason to think, hey, this is a problem, or it's not my fault. You need to blame you. Look in the mirror.
Assim, não é pra mim ter o meu tempo de pensar, de raciocinar se é isso que eu quero, se eu quero continuar, se eu quero acabar ali.
Mas você nem
Porque
gosta de
cada
mim.
dia. Se eu não gostar de você, eu não tava aqui.
What the hell is he talking? You don't even like me. And she says, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't be here. What kind of man-child do you have to be to sit here and say, you don't even like me? You might as well say, you don't like my face. He's 51 years old. 51. He has been alive for half a century, and he's acting like he's in elementary school on the playground telling someone he just met that you don't even like me. What is wrong with this guy? He's the type that would get upset in a game and take his ball and go home. You know that old saying, you take your ball and go home? He's that guy. He's the reason they created it. He is a man-child. There's no other way around it. There's no maturity in him. He is not capable of having a stable relationship. He is not capable of having an adult relationship, and he is destined to be alone unless he changes something and does some serious self-reflection.
I really, deep in my heart, I want to believe what she's saying to me. But what she's showing me in her actions is they're just not matching up.
She's not showing you anything. She is not showing you anything but saying, I needed some space. I need to think. It was a little crazy. You keep telling me these things I didn't know. And yet he's saying, she's not showing me that she likes me. Her actions aren't showing that. He is in delusional la la land world. There is absolutely nothing about him that is in the real world. He is in his own fantasy land. It's Brian's world and everyone else is in it to him. This is the self-centered Brian show. That's all this is.
Eu tô sentindo ainda que você tá me usando para chegar nos Estados Unidos com seus filhos.
What kind of coward man-child are you to really not be able to look in the mirror, take some accountability? Instead, you sit there and point the blame at everyone else when you caused every single problem. This is absolutely ridiculous. The fact is she might have started out a certain way. There might have been some ulterior motives there, but that changed very quickly when he showed his true colors. And she still tried to stick it out. Maybe she had ulterior motives, but it's quite irrelevant with the fact that he showed that he is nothing more than someone who cannot take accountability, cannot work on himself, cannot be in a relationship, cannot have compromise. There's nothing he can do. All he is willing to do is be a victim and play that card and act like everyone is out to get him and fake cry here and there to try to get sympathy. That is it. This guy needs to be alone. All he's going to do is destroy anyone's life that comes in and gives him a shot at a relationship. That's it. So until he is ready to reflect on himself and work on himself, as I've said before, he needs to be alone and everyone needs to leave him alone. Because the fact is he is not ready for jack. Now, Sonny and Veah are fresh off of him getting into an argument with Rory, which, it was both kind of ridiculous, but he did show, some negative side. Of course, I understood. The fact is, he found out her ex was there, and really, she was like, he's not going anywhere. So he was upset, and a little bit rightfully so. But we're kind of in the aftermath of that.
I just don't think it's fair that I was put in a situation where I have to choose.
Who put you in that situation? You put yourself in that situation. You claim you needed someone because you were afraid to go over there. You were afraid to fly. You could have brought any one of a number of friends. I get it. You say Rory's your best friend. You could have brought anyone. The fact is you're not that afraid to be in a country by yourself, as you kept him in the dark in the hotel somewhere while you were still with your boyfriend. Your boyfriend could have been a dangerous person. Didn't matter because Rory was left in the dark. So your story doesn't add up. So whatever you were trying to do, you're trying to explain it away at this point. Either way, you caused this problem. You might as well accept it.
He's here to make sure you are happy, or you are safe, or you are not.
All right, so the reality is he's having some self-reflection, saying he might not have should have done that to Rory. Okay, good for him. If it plays out how he's saying, which is that he wants to meet up with him, he wants to have a chance to apologize, and if that happens, then good for him for being the bigger man. That is the indication of a man. Is he going to be able to follow through with this, or is he going to devolve again into some sort of jealousy?
Is there a place we can pull off so I can pee?
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
it's almost like it's planned for them to have a moment together. Good job, production. So they pull off, and then that gives them a moment to be able to talk, him and Rory. Of course, not planned at all. She goes off and pees behind a bush. Great. In reality, Sonny does come out and say, hey, I didn't want to act like that. I'm sorry. You know, I did. That's my last intention. I know you're trying to protect her. Good for him. Of course, he also says, I'm glad you're leaving, and that's going to be better for us. So there's that. One thing he does say is that I get angry, I get quickly, and then I don't think. I basically react. That is kind of the scary part. Now, does he look like he's a violent person? Has he shown that? Hasn't shown that. Maybe that just gets angry and then they have words, and that happens. But if he cannot control his temper, if he cannot think through things and have a intelligent argument or conversation, not intelligent, but an argument or conversation without, being impulsive and storming out or saying things that he might regret, then that also is going to be a problem in their relationship going forward.
Respect to her. She's got a big heart.
Oh,
but
does she?
She is a very stubborn person. She's very stuck in her ways. And I have to sit back and laugh because it's his turn to suffer.
Now we kind of see a little bit of maybe why the relationship ended, and Rory clearly, being friends with her now, is fine saying, hey, she's tough to deal with. She's difficult. What they were talking about was basically her potentially covering up her tattoos to meet the father. And in reality, the religious aspect of it, like I said, a lot of people go into this and date a Muslim and don't really know the religion itself, and then they're shocked when they be asked them to cover up and things like that. But he's not even really asking for that. What he's saying is when you meet my dad. He's not saying you need to cover your tattoos all the time. And quite frankly, depending on who you work for in the United States, you may have to cover your tattoos. I've had to cover up tattoos in the past. I've had to take out earrings when I used to have them in the past. Of course, different employers have different, policies that you have to follow. And it's no problem here, but yet when someone says, hey, can you do this for my father because of their religious beliefs, it's all of a sudden a problem. Now, maybe it would be a problem for, Veah, I don't know. But the reality is that it's not out of the realm in other situations too, but yet she's being stubborn and acting like she doesn't want to do it. I think that's just her being hard-headed, like Rory says. Makes sense. We will see how it plays out. Of course, his dad's probably not going to accept her because she doesn't want to convert, so there's that. Now, Niles and Matilda have no money, but yet still have to get a wedding together, have to tell his parents what's going on, and there's just never-ending tension with them. Seems like a good way to start off a relationship.
Morning, I had to ask Mr. Ark if he would loan me some money. If he won't help me pay for the rest of this wedding, I don't know where we go from there.
You mean you didn't think that it might be a problem to only have $109 to pay for? Forget about the wedding. If he didn't plan on the wedding, I get that. But he only had just over $100, and he didn't think that might be a problem, or the fact that he lost his job right before he went there. I mean, Niles just is not thinking through anything at all. And now they have to get together. And by the way, you're starting off your marriage with debt. Now, people have debt. I get it. Money is one of the biggest enders of relationship, and you're starting it off by going into debt to pay for your marriage. Seems like not a great idea.
This is a person that has been honest with me, has been truthful with me. If I had to actually design a woman for me, this would be who that is.
Oh my gosh. He's talking to his parents because he is finally letting his parents know that he's getting married. By the way, they've been in disagreements with this marriage and relationship the whole time because, I don't know, it's an online relationship with someone in another country. So rightfully they're skeptical, and quite possibly as your parents, they know that you have some impulse control issues, aside from being autistic, which may play into all that. So he's trying to sell this by saying, it's someone I've known for all this time. And they're like, nope.
I've given it 2 freaking years. What should I give it 20 years or something?
His parents are literally saying, Niles, don't do it. And he's like, Father, how long do you want me to give it, Father? 20 years? I love Matilda. I mean, like, his parents are doing what parents do, which is like, maybe this isn't a good idea. And on top of that, because they're your parents, they're kind of laying it on thick. But yet, he's digging his heels saying there's nothing wrong with this. Now, both sides have had issues. She seemed like maybe she's not in it for the right reasons at points. He's lied. This is just not a good relationship on both ends. But your parents are just trying to be like, hey, maybe pump the brakes a bit. But it's just not working out, and he is clearly not willing to hear what anyone else has to say about the relationship.
Who I was 6 months ago is not who I am now. Hell, who I am at the start of this trip is not who I am now.
Well, he's got that right, because you know what you were at the start of the trip? Someone who said, I'm not getting married on this trip because it's not that great of an idea. Now, all of a sudden, I'm getting married. So you're right, Niles. You are making worse decisions now. What he's talking about is his parents said she may not be the person she says she is in 6 months. And he is not willing to hear that because he's like, everyone changes. That is true. But what their point is you just met this person. Never mind, you've been talking on the internet for 2 years. That's irrelevant at this point. This is someone in a different country. Just like for her, you're someone in a different country. And her family should have given a healthy skepticism. Whether they did or not, I don't know. But it's just your parents doing the right thing by you, and yet you are getting mad and angry and not wanting to hear it because you're not getting your way. You're basically stomping your feet and saying, no, I want the toy though. Mother, I want it. I love Matilda. Like, that's what he's doing at this point.
Now that your son has seen me for real, why can't you agree for us to get married?
Because he's still only known you really for about 2 weeks. So it's reasonable for them to be skeptical again. And you saying, he's seen me, why wouldn't you? Because if you really were a scammer, and I don't know that she really is, or was, or ever was, or any of that, but if she is, then she's still going to continue to scam him and play the game for the only 2 weeks? Yeah, that's no problem at all. Just keep it running. So, now, I don't necessarily think it's 100% that. At best, she may want to get to the United States. But other than that, maybe she really is in it for the right reasons. That still, two things can be true at once. You can be in it for the right reasons, and his family can have a healthy skepticism because y'all are just meeting for the first time, and y'all don't know each other. Over the internet don't mean nothing. You have to get to know each other in person, really. This is why long distance doesn't work that often. Can it work? Sure. But does it work very much? Not really. So, they have a lot of things to work out, and if they don't get on the same page about all things, money, communication, family, everything, it's not going to work. Niles is not thinking things through. Matilda's not thinking things through. How can you make a relationship work if neither one of you can really think through things? So Vanya is so broken up about the bozo thing that she decided to jump on the dating apps. Now, it's probably not really a good thing to do. Good thing she finally is deciding not to even consider bozo anymore. But jumping on dating apps in another country, acting the way we'll see she's acting, is not the best idea.
Huge arms and washboard abs I could just wash my laundry on. Yum.
Hey, you know what I figured out? I figured out where Inky went. Inky decided, hey, I'm done with Corona, so I'm going to get juiced up on the steroids and move over to Croatia. There he is right there. See, folks, that's the evidence. We found Inky. Either way, it's probably not the best thing for her to be dating on a dating app in another country. It's just ill-advised. For one, no one knows where you could disappear and no one would know. You're meeting these people, you don't know who they really are. And watch how she actually acts. She's acting like a child who's not even considering that this might not be the best idea. He looks like his name is Blazer and he's about to compete in American Gladiators. Look at this guy. Did anyone ever watch American Gladiators? He looks like he's about to do the jousting or whatever it was where they stood on the thing and got knocked off by the much smaller people because it was all for show, possibly? Either way, looks interesting to say the least.
Lite no more shrinkage.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
TMI.
But yet I kind of like it though.
Excited.
This fool just said, did somebody just get excited? Like they just met and he's talking about how he's getting excited and no more shrinkage. Run for your damn life. Or you know what you're going to leave with? If you don't leave in the back of some random van, you're going to leave with a parting gift of herpes. Congratulations. Look at this. They just met. This is what we're getting. They are making out full-blown on the beach. They just met on a dating app. And let me just be completely consistent. I don't agree with people doing that in the United States. It is not the best idea to be meeting people on a dating app and hooking up with them right away, which is clearly where this is headed, let alone in a country you are not familiar with, where they could disappear you super quick and no one would ever hear from you again. You seem like a smart girl, Vanya. You seem like a very smart girl with a good head on her shoulders, starting businesses, being successful. So why can't you think this might not be a good idea?
I don't understand how this is happening, that I'm feeling so comfortable with him and we literally just met.
Well, let's think about this. Okay, you messed with Bozo, who wouldn't even be bothered to kiss you or really give you any affection. Now you're with this guy who you're making out with, who you clearly keep saying you're extremely attracted to. He is obviously attracted to you, talking about he's getting excited and everything. All the blood flow is running to areas in y'all's bodies, and you can't understand how this is happening. It's biology 101. It's clearly. Come on, read a book. Read a book, lady.
I feel crazy connected to him.
Oh, do you?
But at this point in my life, I haven't been thinking about myself as a potential mom, so...
She was all about it. And then all of a sudden, he says, I'm fostering a child. I'm in the process of adoption. He's 1 year old. And now she's like, I haven't thought about that. So all of a sudden, that whole, I am super, how is this happening? I mean, I'm feeling tingly, turns into... I haven't thought about that. Now, to be consistent, after the fact, she does say she's open to it. It's not like she completely shut it down, but her mood, her body language, everything clearly changed after this was brought up. So it's interesting that everything is clicking, but now that he mentioned he has a kid, all of a sudden you're like, I'm a little more reserved now, so we will see.
I don't know how he would be able to visit me when he has a 1 year old at home. I'm a little bit scared about getting too close too fast, only to have things not work out.
You're scared about that, but you were messing around with Bozo for long distance for however long y'all did it, only to meet up, and it was just a disaster who he wanted to be friends because he was clearly messing with someone else. But the fact is she's saying, I don't know how this is going to work out. You had no red flags with Bozo, but all of a sudden he brings up a kid, and you have these red flags of how it's going to work with him not being able to travel there. Well, did Bozo travel to see you? No, you came over there, but now it's an issue. Nah, this is interesting. This is a really interesting dynamic. A kid gets brought into it, and it's like, yeah, I don't know about that. So she's having some issues here, too. Clearly, this is probably going to lead to a hookup and then never talk to each other again, but it's just interesting how her mood changed. Now, Joe and Magda are in an interesting position because he's clearly shown that, if she sleeps with him, then he's going to be more open to things like proposal. And she's shown that she's not going to sleep with him, but yet she expects a proposal by the end of the trip, or it's over. I mean, explicitly has she said that? Not really, but that she expects it. So this should be interesting. She is probably the one that looks like the most that she's really just in it to get to the United States, but we'll see how it plays out.
I don't think so. He will to propose to me before he will leave. This is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, so.
Because you know him so well, except you keep claiming that he's keeping things from you and everything like that. Now, you have ulterior motives. Maybe you like him. Maybe you do. But you showed that with the German guy, you were quick to jump over and move to Germany within a couple months, impulsively, and for whatever ulterior motives it might have been, because you just want to get out of Poland. It doesn't have to be the United States. Someone could want to move to other countries or just want to get out where they're at. That could be part of the reason too. The question is it the same for him as it was for the German guy?
He's very adamant about me proposing, but I'm not going to do that until I'm like 100% sure. Like, it's way too early to make that decision.
I agree, 100%. But the problem he has right now is that he knew this going in. He knew that she quit her job, that she was planning on moving to the United States. He knew all of this, and yet he's going to go over there and say, it's too quick now. You're not being consistent either. She may have ulterior motives, but you're being a damn idiot by knowing what she wanted and knowing that she did all these things and now acting like, I'm shocked. You know what changed? She said she's not going to sleep with him. The fact is if she slept with him, he would propose tomorrow, unless for whatever reason he didn't like it or something, but he would propose tomorrow. That's all it would take. Should she do that? No, of course not. But it seems like that's all he's been looking for, because that is the only time his mood changed on this, or his perspective changed, was when she said, I'm not sleeping with you on this trip. And all of a sudden, well, we just need all this time, though.
Left.
It's just a lot. I know do need to talk to her and tell her you need to pump the brakes.
We're pumping the brakes now, unless she acts like she actually wants to get intimate. Then full speed ahead, because you know that's exactly what would happen, because he's predictable and she's predictable. They're both predictable. Everyone on this damn show is predictable. What? She's like, look at that. Look. It's like, what?
The marriage part.
Watch this, watch this.
It's like it's important to spend a decent amount.
And then all of a sudden, remember, the dog is the dog that bites the pittis. And all of a sudden he says, I think we might need to wait for marriage. And it appears she calls well, it ended up being the cat that jumped up there. But I will say it's interesting that she looked like she was calling something. I think she was calling the dog as like hey, look at this. Now, that's a little bit of a stretch. I get it. Funny timing, though, for sure, that happened at that time. Because all of a sudden he says something she doesn't like, and her mood completely changes, and there's a history with the dog.
But he have to propose because I can't move to America without green card, and
yes.
I won't be with him. I'm 100% sure about my feelings.
Yeah, you don't know anything. You're impulsive. You're 23 years old. You don't know what the hell's going on for real. But the thing is she says she's already booked a ticket to go to the United States to visit, plan on being there for a month, coming back, then going back for good. He has to be able to propose for her to come there for good. So it's all this plan worked out. Now, the issue here is that she's got all this plan worked out. I don't think she's really sincere. I don't think she knows what she wants. Even if she thinks she loves him, I don't think she has a clue. But he knew all this. This is why he is not innocent in this. He knew all of this going in, and now all of a sudden, he's acting like it's a problem. Seems a little not so genuine.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for beautiful dinner with you.
Thank you for a beautiful dinner with you. And now I'm going to run away because I didn't like what you said. Everyone on this show they're just all children. Now, for her, the thing is she's 23. She's young. Now, there are mature people that are 23 years old that have it together. It's true. But a lot of times, you're not really super mature at 23. Your brain is still developing until you're like 24, 25, something like that. So you still have some growing to do. And the fact is, she seems like she's had impulse control issues in the past. So this is nothing more. Now, she comes by this a little bit, honestly, because he made it seem like most of this was okay when he thought he was getting some. Now that he knows he's not getting some, he's all of a sudden decided to slow down. The reality is, he'll be on to someone else that will sleep with him or whatever if she doesn't. So, because he's a douchebag, and that's what he is. And she's a child who doesn't really know what she wants. So it's a sad situation. Neither one of them have any business being in a relationship. And but it's going to have a disaster, crash and burn. We'll see. We'll see how quickly it happens. Does it play out for the rest of the season? I don't know. But madness ensues. We will see. But thank you for joining me. I appreciate all the support. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification. And if you do want to support the channel, you can drop a super thanks. Thank you so much, and I will see y'all next time.